Hello, my name is Caleb Smith with the Rocket Miner newspaper, here to provide a quick update for January 8th, 2021. Today the fallout continues from the protests that interrupted the certification of the Electoral College and the related storming of the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. Democrats are presently circulating possible articles of impeachment against President Donald Trump. There are different drafts in play, so we don't quite know that those will look at, though questions about his call to the Georgia Secretary of State prior to the special Senate runoff on Tuesday, and his words at a march prior to the riot breaking out and the destruction and death at the Capitol building are also things that could be cited. The death toll right now sits at 5, following the death of Capitol Policeman Brian Sicknick. He was, according to reports, a veteran and a Trump supporter. This is not confirmed, but some reports say that it looks like that he was clubbed with a fire extinguisher and or possibly other items. Had a blood clot, succumbed to his wounds. The FBI today announced that no evidence has been found that members of the left-wing antifa movement were involved with the storming of the Capitol building, though a number of arrests continue to come with that. Especially some people who were especially high profile with their actions and their destruction have been arrested, and we'll keep following that. Turning to Sweetwater County, we had a number of COVID-19 related updates today. According to official records, we've added 9 more COVID-19 related deaths in Sweetwater County. That brings our county's death total now up to 24. That includes a Rock Springs woman who was 76 or older, who died the week of December 6th. A Green River man between the ages 61 to 75, who died the week of December 13th. A Green River man who was 76 or older, who died the week of December 20th. A Green River man, age 76, who died the week of December 20th. A Green River woman who was also 76 or older, who died the same week, the week of December 20th. Another woman who fit that same description, 76 or older, dying the week of the 20th. A Green River man between the ages of 61 and 75, who died the week of the 20th. A Green River woman who was 76 or older, who died the week of December 27th. And within that same week, also a Rock Springs man who was between the age of 45 to 60. Quoting Dr. Gene Station, the Sweetwater County Public Health Officer, "So far, 24 people in our community have died. These are people we know. This is devastating. These are our friends and people we have known for a long, long time. We all said good riddance to 2020, but don't think we left COVID-19 behind," Station said. "Unfortunately, any changes that are made takes weeks or months to see. We're still going to see the effects of the holidays. You just can't let your guard down. Even those lucky enough to be vaccinated won't see immunity for at least 6 weeks." Referring to the first batch of vaccines that were made available, primarily to health care workers and those in long-term care facilities. Returning to Dr. Station, "The worst could be ahead of us. Our percent positivity remains one of the highest in the state," she said. "We still are in the high transmission categories. Please continue to wear a mask, physically distance, and wash your hands." Sobering advice, sobering outcomes. We're not through this yet, and when it comes to just dealing with the virus, you just can't snap your fingers and fix it overnight. We have quite a ways to go, and should be doing what we can to safeguard and care for one another. As part of that, one of the advice is to get a vaccine when it becomes available. And right now, the plans are still in flux, figuring out what the plan is going to be for the general public. Today, local health officials issued a press release saying, please don't call the hospital for vaccine information. Sweetwater County Public Health is the one that's working to that, so you should be reaching out to them. And in general, just be looking for updates on Facebook, or there's the SweetwaterMemorial.com website or SweetwaterCares.com. Those are all places where the most up-to-date information is provided. We know that people want that there's a population out there that loudly, vocally wants the population, especially those who recognize that they're at higher risk. Quoting Deb Sutton, the Sweetwater Memorial Public Information Officer, the hospital is currently being inundated with calls asking for information on vaccine availability. We are not scheduling general clinics at this time and will soon run out of vaccine. Public Health is in charge of organizing the schedule of who can receive the vaccine and when. We do apologize for the inconvenience. She went on to add, please be patient, she said. Know that healthcare leaders are working to vaccinate everyone who is eligible as soon as the vaccine becomes available at each tier of the Wyoming Department of Health vaccine distribution plan. Independently, the hospital and community nursing identified those who were high priority, especially those who are 70 or older, and they were to be referred to by a healthcare provider. If you were on a list, your provider would have reached out to you. If you haven't been contacted yet, more waiting is required. I'm sorry for that, but in the meantime, we still know the general advices, like Dr. Station already said, and honestly, we've heard 1,000 times at this point. Wash your hands, wear a mask when out in public, limit trips and visits as much as possible. If you think you're sick, stay home. If you think it's COVID, get tested. One more thing I'd like to note, and this is something that was a bit celebrated amongst staff today, is that the Adams Publishing Group, of which the Rocket Miner and other prominent papers in our state, the Laramie Boomerang, Rollins Times, Wyoming Tribune Eagle, got to see the results of the APG Best of the Best showcase. And Rocket Miner staff, that we were pleased that we showed up in 3 different areas. Our reporter, Lisa Romero, actually had was praised for having one of the top features in the country. I hope that you've had a chance to check out her story on the woman who, frighteningly enough, has had multiple brushes with murder of loved ones in her life, and showing an extreme amount of forgiveness and understanding to work with the people, the murderers, who impacted her life as such. Just citing the description of the award, if I can just pull that up real quick. It was noted that, and this is from the judges from Adams Publishing Group, Rocket Miner reporter Lisa Romero had us from the lead. Crystal Martin walked into the Rollins Penitentiary to meet the man who had kidnapped, raped, and strangled her mom 25 years earlier. At one point during their conversation, as she looked across the prison table, she didn't see a murderer. And that's from the story Healing and Forgiveness. I strongly encourage you to check it up. Even if you've read it already, read it again. It stays with you. Also of note was the fact that our Wesley Magagna was highlighted for his feature writing on the story Jaciel's Comeback Trumps His Setback. Perhaps you remember the Rock Springs High School student who had a head injury that interrupted practice. There were people who were quite impressed that he stayed alive to be able to receive medical attention, and his recovery and his attitude are the type of things that inspire. And if you're watching this last video, you're part of the reason why for this last award. The the Rocket Miners YouTube channel, Rocket Miner Talks, or I know most of you see this on Facebook. You don't really go to the YouTube site, and that's okay, because you're getting informed, and we're providing you with the right mix of entertainment and information. Great, that's our goal. That was also highlighted for noteworthy digital initiatives. So we don't do it for the awards. We certainly don't do it for the prestige or the pay, but it is not. We remain dedicated to it, and on times when we get awards, and it's nice. And like I said, it's Will Rogers famously said, "If you done it, it ain't bragging." Anyway, this is Caleb Smith with the Rocket Miner newspaper, wishing you a good today and a safe tomorrow. Bye.